Okay, Jacoby, we're back. This is take 2.
Take 2.
Sorry, if you're one of the people who heard the first take of this podcast, we've learned to double check. We believe that it recorded through my Bluetooth rather than through the speaker.
Because as you can hear, we now sound 10 times better.
For those of you who are hearing this for the first time, the last time it sounded like we were recording in a tin can about 400 miles away from a recording device. So, we're going to start this again. My name is Christy Greenberg.
I'm Jacoby Greenberg.
And I'm one of the co-hosts of Fred and Green, the podcast. Jeffrey is not here today, and I am joined by the handsome Jacoby. They both start with a J.
Hey.
Hey. So, Jacoby is my littlest baby child, and he had to do a service project for his school, and so we're going to talk about it for a minute. And he chose to do homelessness. As we all know, since COVID, I mean, here in Orlando, I don't know where you're listening from, but the cost of homes and rent has went out the absolute roof. Really, it's difficult to live without it being a 2-income household. If you're just like average America, if you're just living middle class, it's a struggle. So, especially like if you've got kids and you need extra bedrooms, it's crazy. There's a lot of people now who are, especially since COVID, like single moms moving in with another single mom to help raise their kids, just to be able to afford housing. So
it's one of the saddest things, honestly.
Yeah, it is sad. It's sad. And hopefully we can get things back in check. But Jacoby decided to help out with homelessness. So I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okie doke.
You ready?
I'm 100 times ready.
What made you decide that you wanted to work with the homeless?
Mainly just from when we go on to choir trips to like fill the Dr. Phillips Center.
First of all, you mean go to choir shows? Because that's not a choir trip. I mean, a trip to 10 miles?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when we go to choir shows, a lot of them take place in the Dr. Phillips Center. For those of you that don't know, that's in the center of downtown Orlando. With downtown Orlando, there's a bunch of apartment buildings, but with that, a great amount of apartment buildings. And like you even said, since COVID hit, prices like rent have almost doubled. People have been kicked out and just have been forced to live on the streets. It's like every corner you turn, there's like 5 homeless people. And just because like I see them like so often, it's not only taken like a toll on me, like I feel like I have to do something to help it. Like it's just so sad. And like I've had friends who have been homeless or who have lived in poverty. I had this one friend, not gonna name any names, just because we're not trying to get the podcast taken down. But I have this friend, and he would come to school 3-4 hours early, take showers, eat breakfast, do what most people do in their own homes, but having to do it at a school because his family did not have enough money to do it at home. So I came home crying one day because I felt so bad for him. And I said to my mom, I said, hey, can we get him, can we go to Publix and get him some things? So we got him some clothes, we got him some food, toothpaste, all the necessities. And to this day, he is still ever so grateful and thinks of me as like his savior, like his best friend.
Well, I mean, it's a sad situation too. Like that's the thing. It's bad enough to not have a home. It's so sad when we take for granted, like having the ability to take a shower, have running water, to have deodorant. I remember the situation that you're talking about, and that poor baby was being made fun of because he didn't smell good, and that his clothes weren't clean, and that is, I mean, it's a struggle. Like if you're listening to this on, an iPhone, like think of just how blessed we are to even have that.
True.
Like
if you're even able to listen to this, think about that, because we're not on the radio.
Right.
You have to have like a computer, a phone, a TV if it has like Spotify or iTunes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are like pretty freaking expensive. Like I think like the newest iPhone is like $500 right now.
The what?
Newest iPhone.
It's like 2,000 probably. No joke.
I know you're not joking.
I'm literally not
I'm
joking.
talking about like the iPhone 13 or 14.
It's the days of a $500 iPhone have left the building, sir. Look, we're going to look it up as we're doing live
Googling.
Live Googling. Give it a little research.
No, not give it a little research. Give it a little goog.
I'm going to give it a goog. You're right. iPhone. We're going to see. iPhone 14 Pro Max from $999. That's the low end.
And that's the lowest possible.
It's $999.
So $1,000.
Up to $1,500. Yeah.
So that's pretty expensive.
It's pretty expensive. And
probably flip phones are coming back.
But I think you're right. You know, like, we do take a whole lot for granted. I do appreciate the fact you as my kid, like, I'm proud of you for that aspect of being not soft. What do I mean? You're tenderhearted when it comes to people like that. Like, you can be mean as a snake, but when it's somebody in need, you're very, very sweet, and you always want to help. And I think that's something that compassionate. We all need to get some more compassion for people. I think that there's a lot of prejudgment that goes on, especially like in the downtown area. But I mean, here in Winter Garden, there's homeless people everywhere, and to say we all could be one paycheck away from being homeless. Like, you don't know what happened.
Your boss, like, for those of you that don't know, your boss is like a high person.
Right.
They could just, like, one day be like, you know what, you haven't worked hard enough, you're fired. And then all four of us can be like...
I get your point. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that's not what they would say. But,
you understand
that. Makes me sound like I'm slacking.
She's not. She's a hard worker. I'm just saying. I was using that as an example.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it is a thing to where, you know, it's scary being in I'm a single parent, you know, so, like, that's weighed on my life for, 20 years. You know, you always have the concern. But a lot of times I do think there's a lot of judgment that goes on that says that, like, people think that they're drug addicts or alcoholics, and they could be.
They very well could be.
But
then there's also people who have just lost their job.
Right. And even if you're a drug addict or an alcoholic,
it's still sad.
And you deserve love, shelter, food, clothes, to be clean. You know, like...
You deserve to be treated like a normal person of society.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be treated like an outcast.
Right. And we got to help everybody. What would you like to do? Like, how would you like to extend... I know that you've already helped and served and, you know,
You're making it sound like I was part of the military.
No.
You helped and you served the people.
No, I mean, I know that you've had your project and you went out and, like, that you want to become more active with, like, Matthew's Hope, and you want to carry it on into the future. Like, you don't want this to just be a one-hit wonder.
No.
So what's something that you would like to do in the future to extend your service forward?
A part of OCS. Like, I want...
People don't know what OCS is.
Oh, for those of you that don't know what OCS is, it's Orlando Choral Society. Mm-hmm. That is just a choir that Dr. Redding and my mom, Christy Greenberg, the most magnificent woman in the world.
He wants something.
No. Like, I feel like there's roughly around 100 people in OCS. Mm-hmm. Every year we have a potluck. And I feel like if there's 100 people, right? Mm-hmm. That sounds like all the food's going to be gone, right? Mm-hmm. It's not the case.
Right.
There's 100 people, and so that means there's 100 meals.
There's 100 dishes.
100 dishes, which can make like 1,000 meals. And some people, like me myself, will pick more filling foods like mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, or chicken, like something like that, something that's gonna fill me up. While other people might just get like deviled eggs. I feel like, sorry,
we started saying the words of food, and then our dog started losing his mind and running around and sniffing and is trying to find food. Go ahead, Jacoby.
But then some people might eat a little bit amount of food because they don't eat too much, and then some people will eat a small amount of food, but filling food that's going to fill them up. So Brian, our puppy dog, is here right now, and he wants to be in the podcast. Do you have anything to say, Brian? Have anything you want to say?
Do you have something you want to say? Yeah. Okay. That's a good boy. Well, no, I mean, I get what you're saying, and it's a good opportunity, and like to take the food. We do always have so many leftovers, and you know,
I've seen firsthand. I've had to carry them out to people's cars.
Right, like to help them because they were taking it to like fire department and different places like that, which is fantastic. But
I mean, take it to homeless shelters and stuff. Like, I feel like that can help it out. Like soup kitchens, Matthew's Hope, for example. I know, like annually after the potluck, the people who like we are super close with, a part of OCS. We will help them take all that leftover food they made and we take it down to Matthew's Hope so they can give it out to people in need.
And I mean, it's something that you had said to me a couple days ago that I think is really smart. Way too often, we just get rid of things by throwing it away. And because we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to go through the effort and take our time out to go and donate something. If you got old clothes that are good clothes, don't throw them away. If
Put
they don't
them in a
fit you
trash
anymore.
bag and send them to Goodwill. Or
Take them to Goodwill. A lot of places will pick it up. But we do have places that you can help in the show notes and ways that you can help. It has really affected my little dude, Jacoby. And it has me too. Like to see a kid that's 13, like super passionate and wanting to make a difference. You know, let's keep that light in our kids going and get some motivation from them that they, I guess, catch some of their spark, you know. I think as we get older, we can get like burnout and like, we got our own problems, but
other people have worse problems.
That's right. Every day, if you wake up and you put your feet on the ground and you slept in a bed, you're blessed. So,
because there are people out there just like, a lot of homeless people, like you told me this, a lot of homeless people come down to Florida because, like, during the winter, they don't want to be in freezing weather.
Right.
But during the summer, that's when it hurts. Because here in Florida, weather gets up to, like, 100, 105 degrees outside during the summer. And so, like, these people, they don't have a house, they don't have a bed, they have nowhere to go because, well, they'd end up loitering, and then a lot of places are like, no loitering, right? But they have nowhere to go. So they end up sitting out on the hot, like you cook an egg on it,
Right.
cement, and they have to sit there and just deal with the pain. And then people are like rich people, and when I say rich people, I mean like rich people, are just like scolding them, like, because
I mean, I think you're being a little dramatic right now.
I'm not being dramatic.
I think he's a little dramatic.
I'm not being dramatic, guys.
But, I mean, it probably has happened. I don't think that it's necessarily, like, commonplace, like you're kind of making it seem. But, you know, I think that there's a lot of good information out there. We can really do a lot to help out. Need to be more proactive as a population, as a community. And so we're putting some places in the show notes where you can help. Jacoby, thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for being a good little boy.
Thank you for being an awesome mother.
Thank you. I love you so much.
Thank you for birthing a awesome boy.
Well, you're welcome. It's pretty easy. Just kidding.
Thank you for letting me on the podcast, too.
Hey, you know, we'll see. Play your cards right, kids.
Hey, I'm working on a podcast, so...
What? I didn't say you could plug your own business
Hey,
here.
I just said I'm working on it. I've never plugged it.
Okay. All right. Well, read, rate, review, and subscribe. Do it all. Thank you so much. And you will see us next week on Red and Green, the podcast.